iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
She was sinking fast, I threw a rope. Now I have suits and she has hope. It seemed an elegant solution. One day this must end, it isn't real. Still I'll enjoy a hearty meal before tomorrow's execution. Sunset Boulevard, ruthless Boulevard, destination for the stony-hearted. Sunset Boulevard, lethal Boulevard, everyone's forgotten how they started here on Sunset Boulevard.
The fact that I get to sing this at the top of Act 2, right in the middle of like Joe's crazy journey. I mean, he's not the most likable guy in the world for obvious reasons, but we're trying to change that because there is good intent at times, and there are these love stories that are real. Every person's very complicated, so we're trying to bring out the humanity in these characters because, you know, once you enter Norma Desmond's mansion, it kind of takes you into like Willy Wonka's factory a little bit. It's like this bizarre place where anything's possible. I mean, the first time you see her, she's carrying her child, who is a chimp, down the staircase, and it kind of introduces her in the best, most epic way. It's been a dream. It's been a dream to learn this character, explore this character, and try to do something fresh with him.
Of course, there's a legacy here with a lot of divas who have played this role. The music is epic. The whole idea and concept and plot of this show is epic. And I think there's an expectation. And so we're going to fill that, but we're also going to just tell the story cleanly and with a different tilt, which I'm excited about.
What happened was when I was brought on board to direct it, and a friend said to me, I heard you're directing Sunset Boulevard at the Kennedy Center. I can't wait for your feminist Sunset Boulevard. And I was like, oh, that's a really interesting thing to say because I don't know what that means. And then I started to interrogate, you know, what does it mean for a woman to be directing this piece that is typically directed by men, that is written by men, and really started to dig into 1940s Hollywood and what the issues around women being phased out of the industry were. And they were rampant. And, you know, so much of it was about how much women weighed, how many wrinkles they had on their face. And the second they hit whatever line was drawn, they were phased out. And so we started to look at Norma's journey and Betty's journey, frankly, from that perspective. What does it mean to say, we know Norma, you know, sort of went off a deep end, but why?
Sammy is a dream. She is so great at knowing exactly what every character's thought is, which is a blessing because technically that's my job. Like, I should be knowing where I'm coming from, where I'm going, but Sammy brings a new life to Sunset Boulevard as a female director, and I can't wait for everyone to see it because as soon as the show starts, you will notice the tone shift.
She's amazing. I've known Sammy for a little bit just through various experiences working with her, but this is the first time I've gotten to work on a musical theater project with her, and she's so smart, so clever. I really admire the way that she's trying to reinvent this story and executing it so brilliantly, and how collaborative she is. She brings the room together, and we all have a say. We all kind of talk through these different decisions that we're making together, and so to be discussing, you know, ideas for the show and different ways that we can twist and turn this plot with Stephanie J. Block and the other amazing collaborators that we have. It's amazing, but I do tip my hat to Sammy and how well that she's able to bring everyone together and give everyone a voice the way that she has.
She's great. I mean, I love her. I think she's great, and I think she's about the same age as my eldest child, and so I just love being able to kind of bask in this, you know, this young woman's very clear idea about how to make this piece relevant today and give it a slightly interesting modern twist and a point of view, and the point of view of someone her age in the world, which I love.
She's remarkable. She's very smart. She sees the whole picture. She's also one of those that it is very much about collaboration. So if you're in the room with Sammy, really the best idea wins, which I love. She came in fully prepared, but also very, as we all did, you have to with a 10-day rehearsal process, but flexibility to say, oh, that's new, let's try that.
I have never worked with her before, but from the get-go, I just was thoroughly impressed with her as a director and a person. She is extremely intelligent. She has a vision, but she's the most unassuming person. She just comes up and she's very shy. And she said I pointed out to her that I just thought everybody in the room was so nice. Everyone is so nice in this company. And she said, well, I like working with nice people.
Everyone has been blowing me away, not only with their talent, but with their kindness. Like, they're wonderful, and I'm so glad that this is one of my first production and coming in like this.
They have assembled an all-star team for sure, and it is, for me, as someone who is on the early side of his career, to be able to be in the room and watch these titans that I've admired for so long in process. You know, I've seen them on stage in the final polished finished product, but to watch Stephanie making choices in a rehearsal room, try a scene 2 or 3 different times in completely different, revolutionary, and all convincing, beautiful ways is really inspiring for all of us as young artists. And I think I'm treating this a little bit like school. You know, I think there's so much to be learned from observing and from watching artists create and try and experiment. It's a quick process. We only have, I think, 11 days total in the studio, so there's a certain amount of fearlessness that we all have to just try things and trust that, like, Sammy is going to let us know whether things are working or reading or not, and then go from there. On a personal note, Nathan Gunn has been a longtime hero of mine. I actually went to school for opera, and I aspired to a career in that world, and he's been sort of that iconic career that I hope to emulate someday. So it's really nice to get to tell him that, and obviously to be on stage with him. It's pretty surreal.
When I first got the call about it, I didn't have to ask. They said, this cast is amazing. You're going to want to do it. You'll love it. It's a really quick process. Can you find the time to actually put this in your schedule? And it fit perfectly. I mean, literally perfectly. I finished a one-man show with a prototype festival that was going on, and the next day we started rehearsals for this, which was a big shift from, Du Yun's music to, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
This is almost like an operetta in the sense that the entire piece is underscored. You have to hit certain musical bookmarks throughout the way so that it times out perfectly. And there's something very satisfying when every emotional nuance is supported by the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber. There isn't anything that lands dry. It's always lifted up by this incredible score and an orchestra of like 23 pieces. You can't tell me that doesn't fill people's guts and also heighten the emotion of every word said. And people just leave feeling differently because it is a full plate of musical theater at the end of those 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's just epic. I can't really describe it any other way. I think the orchestration, how the show has been traditionally scored and played, is with these massive orchestras that really do add a depth to the material that is singular and very unique. I think with contemporary musicals nowadays, you get your 8 to 10 pieces on average. But having shows that are this big with these robust epic songs. I mean, the ending scene of the show is like a 12-minute marathon of drama that doesn't really exist in contemporary musical theater. So to get to explore that and get to live that in a place so beautiful like the Kennedy Center, it's a dream. I can't wait to be in the space. I've never actually been in the space. I've never seen or performed in the space, so that will be very educational for me. And it's been a while since I've played with such a big orchestra.
Well, I've never done Broadway, so now I only know Kennedy Center, and I think it's absolutely fast and furious. But it's kind of, the way that I've been describing it to my mom is that I don't have time for shame. Like, there's no time to second guess yourself. You've just got to come in and then let it all go. And it's been a really incredible experience. If not absolutely insane, like, it's also been very rewarding.
The venue is so gorgeous and just sort of like an iconic part of our nation's sort of like capital and that fabric of that part of the world. So to get to do this there is really, really great. I have so many friends that are still there that are going to be able to come and see the show. Many that actually had tickets before they even know I was in it. So it's clear that there's a really strong fan base down there and a real need for this caliber of art. in DC. So it'll be great to be a part of that.
First of all, as someone who gets to be in Andrew Lloyd Webber world a lot, it was like a dream to get to do Sunset. And I sort of thought I would get to do it when I was like, Norma's age. And so to get to do it now is such a blessing. And I feel like we're finding a lot together as a company. And my first reaction was just like total joy, because to work at the Kennedy Center, to work with this incredible piece, to work with Stephanie, to work with the entire company, it's a gift.
This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last, and this time will be bigger and brighter than we knew it. So watch me fly. We all know I can do it. Could I stop my hand from shaking? Has there ever been a moment with so much to live for? The whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. So much to say, not just today, but always. We'll have early morning madness. We'll have magic in the making. Yes, everything's as if we've never said goodbye. Yes, everything's as if we never said goodbye. We taught the world new ways to dream.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.